Hey, Kimmy, baby, I had a book over here in this drawer. You seen it?
You mean a little black book? Oh, honey, I cleaned out those drawers in that whole room and made a big donation to Goodwill. But don't worry, we can get you another one.
Oh, hell no. You're never going to believe what happened to me today at the Goodwill. I found a book of seed phrases, honey. I can get those hair transplants now. Oh.
Go best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
Welcome everyone to Daytime Crypto Charts with the Road Dogs. My name is Lane and I will be your captain today as we kind of navigate what's going on in Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Shout out to Grizz, shout out to Strega Harp and being here in my chat, man. I appreciate you guys for being here. These are my OGs, my solids, my Road Dogs. And so glad to have you checking this stream out, and whether you're new to this or watching this later, watching it live, watching it later on. Hopefully I can shed some light on the market that will help you and maybe help you make some positive decisions that will put more crypto in your pocket, more cash. If you want that dirty fiat in your bank account, personally, I recommend stacking sats, growing that Bitcoin, because in the end, it's mostly about Bitcoin. Let's be honest. Altcoins are cool. We love altcoins. No, I'm not a maxi. But let's be real. Bitcoin, this is its run, its cycle. When it's coming into the general population, when it's coming into the institutions, when the banks are chomping at the bit to get it, when all the big money wants to wrap their hands around your Bitcoin, my Bitcoin, everybody's Bitcoin, to hoard as much as they can to try to control this market and just get their claws in it, just like they do everything else. But crypto's different, and Bitcoin's different. Decentralized ledger owned by the public, by the people, a public blockchain, and your private companies are wanting to control it. Interesting. It just creates more value for the most solid network, as far as we know, in the universe. Unless there's little guys out there with a better Bitcoin than what we got. There may be a green Bitcoin. So the market on the daily overall, we got some improvements here. Thank you, Quant, for listening to our little talk. See that you're feeling better about yourself, QNT. Keep that up, baby. Keep that positive vibe going. So here we are in the 1 hour, kind of looking at what's going on with Bitcoin. After we got this massive pump up here to 35,888 here on this 35,750. On this MEXC perpetual futures chart that I use when I trade perpetuals, when I trade futures with that crazy leverage, the gambling plays. And let's just start out and say, make this very clear and apparent right off the bat. Some people say leverage is for fools. Yeah, I know I don't totally disagree, because a fool and his money are soon and often parted. And such is the case that we continually hear when you trade leverage. And you make wins, but you also make losses. Just don't fall into the game of the YouTubers posting all these gains and strategies, and especially if they have nothing to show for it. Especially if they have nothing to show for it. Now, I'm not claiming to be a big-ass leverage trader. Here's my thing on leverage. Let me get this out of the way. A lot of these guys out here with $5,000 accounts or whatever showing you, and some of them can pull it off, some of them cannot. Some of them are completely losing and then covering it up. But besides the point, the real challenge, and you ask any of them, is turning a small account into a bigger account. So taking $100 and doubling that, doing that 3 or 4 times just to solidify that you got the hang of it. That's how I personally am approaching this, and how I suggest other people approach it. Because leverage is just an amplifier for your emotions. It was great for this move here. It helped me tremendously with my accounts. The only problem is that when you take profits up here, which I did, you can give them back in all this chop as we start making a pattern. So that's just a warning sign that I'm going to throw out there, a little thing that I'm working on, because nice juicy gains, and I'm finding that I've gave a fraction of that back just trying to trade this chop. So anyway, let's take a look at Bitcoin, and let's just go over spot market, perps, whatever you're trading. It all depends on Bitcoin and what Bitcoin is doing. Make sure we got our mic on, everything, so I don't see anybody complaining about that. All right, let's get into it. Wow, I look like a ghost. I'm halfway here. Why is that? Let's just go with it for Halloween. I am the ghost of Bitcoin futures. All right. So let's get with the decent chart here. I'm going to come with this one because it's just a little bit easier to read. Also, kind of supports the theories that I'm going over. Here is our situation with Bitcoin in the old nutshell. We have this trend line here on our daily. We bullishly broke back above that. You cannot ignore the bullishness of breaking back above this. However, we're getting resistance at this top trend line, which confirms, and it's already been confirmed for a while with these two touches, rising wedge pattern, which normally breaks to the downside. So as I mentioned before, I was watching very closely to see if we got above 31.8, making a higher high, and we did. Normally, you would see this action, get rejected there and price come down. We did not get that. Instead, we broke back into the pattern. Hella bullish. The situation we're in now is we're finding resistance right up here at this support. Now, the scenario plays as this: if we cannot get above there and possibly retest that, the big move that the Moon Boys are calling for will not happen. If we do it, the Moon Boys might get what they're asking for. You might see 42, 45, maybe Bitcoin getting to the 50s. All depends on what we do right here. So key area to watch. And right now, price is dropping down. So you may see a retest of the bottom trend line. That's about 33.2, 32.8, somewhere through there. Just depends on when it comes down and touches it. We're on the daily. But if we see that, we've got to keep in mind that there is a higher probability that we lose this area around the 32, 33,000. And then we can come back and retest 30,800. See if this area holds. And if it doesn't, well, we're just right back down to where we were before. A big old fake out with some news about an ATF, getting everybody hyped up so that the big money, get everybody riled up, FOMO in, and sell on them and get your Bitcoin. It's usually how the game is played. So just be cautious of that. And quickly, I just want to run over. I do not believe that this is time to be overly bullish or overly bearish. We are seriously at a cusp point. A cusp point where it could go either way. And I would not be surprised if they don't keep us here until Friday. It would not surprise me, just so that they can torture the weekend traders, manipulate price, and get even more Bitcoin. Scenario I'm looking for. This is very similar to a point that we were in after the halvening. We have not experienced the halvening yet for this cycle, but we saw the same thing play out over here. So this is why I'm exercising caution, and I suggest that you do the same thing. Same exact situation, basically. Following a trend line, broke below it, got bearish. Oh gosh, everybody calling for $3,500 again. Coming right back here, $5,000 even below. Crazy. And then what happened? When you zoom in on this, well, it was a fake out. It was a bear trap. Catching all the bears. Michael Saylor made his announcement about buying Bitcoin. Institutionals got FOMO, started driving the price up, broke back into the falling wedge, and then we broke out. This is what we want to see happen now if you're looking for the start of a move like this. Do keep in mind that when this was happening was exactly at the time frame, the month of October, when all this started, 2020. That's when our official bull run started. The early phases of a bull run is what all this is, and we are possibly seeing that now. Don't want to rule that out. What would be the kicker if you do what I did during this, listening to YouTubers? This is before I actually got adept at technical analysis. And it's easy to be influenced by whoever's on YouTube. And at this time, you got everybody, because Everybody wants them clicks, baby. Everybody wants to sell them trading groups. Everybody wants to sell them courses. Everybody wants to push their business onto you. Well, so they can get some of your crypto and some of your money. I mean, I don't fault them for having a business, but sometimes the way they go about it's a little questionable. And you can tell that by some of the thumbnails. You can. I try to keep it as level and honest as possible here on the channel. Well, I'm going to keep it honest. I just tell you what I see on the charts and give you my opinion. If you like it and agrees with you, if it speaks to you, resonates with you, it may help you out. If you say, I don't know, Road Dog, you ain't got a clue. Well, you know, what I have to say probably will not help you out. So the situation, same thing, same setup that we had back in 2020 right here. Bear trap, falling back into this pattern. It could have went the other way, and everybody was still expecting it to do that. Not everybody, but definitely the bears that are still bearish today, calling for lower prices. And by all means, you know, we should have got rejected right here around 13,000, but we didn't. It just kept on carrying on. As institutionals experienced FOMO, fear of missing out at these juicy prices, kicked off our bull run. And this was post-halvening. The difference between what we're seeing now is that we're not post-halvening. We are pre-halvening. We haven't really hit that point in the market where we should start seeing this stuff. So that's the little confusing thing. But right here, right before you, is the same scenario playing out. So in my personal opinion, what they want you to do, and there may be some choice news articles come out over the next few days to scare the market, to kind of mess with sentiment and emotions, because that's what they like to do. That's what the big guys like to do. They love that. And there may be a retest. Have to keep up with that. But getting below 38.8 would be a problem. Breaking this trend line would be a problem. Don't want to see that happen. We want to see what happened the other time. We want to see that. So all eyes on Bitcoin, and if we can get above 35.6, 35.8, we got a chance to see that parabolic move to start. It may be an early start for a bull run. Doesn't mean it's going to go straight up. It will have a struggle. When you zoom out, it looks like it goes straight up, but when you zoom in, you see it's fighting for every step of the way and then catching some nice little runs. And I bring this up because in Bitcoin right now, we have the lowest amount of Bitcoin on the exchanges in the past 5 years. The exchanges do not have enough Bitcoin for everybody. You are going to see a lot of volatility because of that. You want to see Bitcoin trade more like an altcoin, get some fantastic moves up and also some fantastic drops to the downside as they play this market. So just be careful with your higher leverage. It's easy to get wrecked on that. I did have my little short count over here on BitUnix. I mean, I got obliterated. However, my longs were very happy, so it all kind of balances out. But this was a $60 account, which is now down to $2. So there's a challenge to get that one back up. Robert Dog, you suck. Well, no, this was my strategy too. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, obviously, because I did not anticipate that move at 35. I'm looking for 31.8. Don't always get it right. That's just what happened. And I wasn't the only one. There were a ton. That was like a 410 million, I think, dollars liquidated with that move. And that's what you get with high leverage. That's why I have small accounts to play with that. So I am not a guru, but I do good on spot. I do good enough that I don't have to work for the man anymore. Haven't since 2020. But it doesn't mean that it's just all easy, money falling in my pocket. No, you have to work for it. You have to work to keep it. And, you know, I just, any message I could drive home right now is just hold on to your Bitcoin. It truly is a rare commodity that will continue to get rare, more scarce. And it will pay off handsomely if you just hold on to it. Trading it on spots, futures, trading it's a different story. But for the real wealth, we know that Bitcoin's what we need. And select altcoins to really drive our portfolios up. We're going to take a look today at AGIX. I think I've covered Bitcoin enough just to give my warnings, which is stay calm. Stay calm. Stick to your plan. Stick to your overall plan. We're at 34,000. We were down at 15.5. trading between there and 18,000. We have officially doubled it. And just remember who was telling you, or just remember the people that you saw that kept calling for it to go down. They weren't seeing the signs. Just keep that in mind. We don't want to let bias come into our brains. That's our biggest enemy, one of our biggest enemies as far as trading, that bias. It comes in, it's under the emotional category. It's under our ego, where we can't deal with being wrong with our analysis or our trade setup or something, and we get in too high, we overtrade. That is all our emotions controlling our brains. So if there's any true secret to trading and investing, it comes from in here. You can do the greatest TA and you can execute the worst trade ever on the best setup in the world. And that's just a fact of it. So regardless of what the Moomba is telling you, if you give them $99 a month or whatever, you can learn their secrets. You might notice a lot of them, their secrets have not been panning out so well. So be cautious. This market is here to take your money, and it's not just the market itself. It's also a bunch of grifters out there. So just be cautious, and scammers. There's some scams out there. Do not send your Bitcoin expecting double Bitcoin back. I don't mean to be harsh, but stupid is as stupid does. Don't do it. There's no easy money in this game. The traders and investors, they earn every penny that they get sitting through all the emotional abuse that we put ourselves through in this. You deserve every penny that you get. And rightly so, you get Bitcoin at the price at which you deserve, or any token. So looking here at AGIX, nice pump to the upside here over the last couple of days. I like that. This thing got down to 16 cents, people. Now on my channel, this is one that we were looking at a year ago and getting it. We were actually down here at these bottom areas, and that's just one of my personal intentional plays to get in here, because I've played this before in the last bull market. I did not expect AI and ChatGPT to drive us all the way up to 67 cents, just knocking out its previous all-time high. That was awesome. But then after all that hype, which this is a hype-driven market, pullbacks, everybody's still saying, oh, AI is still it. You know, we're still bullish. It's our emotions getting the best of us. Me too. It happens. Just acknowledge it and learn from it. So I was able to take advantage of it. Very, very good about that. Moon bagged this, and I was anticipating all this. And actually, I sold a little bit earlier and then still build up my position and everything. So I've still got a nice little bag of this for a long run. But we got sideways, we got down, and then we got an accumulation. And now it looks like we're finally starting to make some moves here on not just on AGIX, but some of our other altcoins. So before I get too deep into that, we're just going to take a quick look at our little indices. Over here in the right-hand corner, top right, that's Bitcoin dominance at 54% now. 50% of all the money is focused on Bitcoin right now and going higher. Down in the lower right-hand corner, right over here, is Tether, USDT dominance. Just one stablecoin. And people have been selling out of Tether, obviously going into Bitcoin, obviously going into altcoins. Altcoins market, total 3 market cap does have a breakout here, indicating that, you know, we could possibly see billions and billions of more dollars coming to altcoins, which is great. Also a possibility of an Adam and Eve double bottom scenario playing out there, another double bottom scenario here. And just keep in mind, this is a 4-hour time frame. You zoom out, you see something even bigger. Basically, we've just been in a range, working our way back up to this top range, somewhere around $410 billion in the market cap. When we see that, get above that, like when you're over on CoinGecko and you see the market cap up here, the volume, the dominance, and all of that. You just actually give me numbers over there. Sometimes they'll give percentages. Oh, they had the millions there. Let's go back there. So, wow. Best on the chart. When we see it get up to this $410 billion area, we may be in for a nice altcoin season at that point. Lately, it's just been accumulate while it's down, taking your chances in doing that, because they could go down lower. Could have at that time too, but right now we got a nice pleasant turnaround. the news of the ETF, all that stuff. Even though we were just in talk phase, news phase, rumor phase, it's enough to generate some excitement into crypto. Great time to take advantage of that. Currently, AGIX is at 21 cents, so congratulations, AGIX. If you bought the breakout of this around 17.5 cents, man, your account's up 28%, and that's got to feel good, and it can keep going, I think, right back up here in 23, 24, even up to 25 cents, just back where we were when everybody was bullish about it before, saying, that's a great price to buy. And it was. It is, in my personal opinion. But a nice breakout there. Probably coming in 24 to test this 200 moving average on the daily, and then we'll see where we go from there. Guys, I'm gonna come over to the chat here, see if you guys got any requests that you want me to go over. Otherwise, I'll just be picking out what catches my fancy. Ghost of Half Peppy. Hey man, I gave Half Peppy a talk. I thought it was going to do good. I don't think I even got it on here anymore where we can look at it. Oh, shame. I don't have that tab open anymore. But then she started bleeding out again. One hit a quitter. My homie Road Dog is on before my bedtime. What up, homie? Yeah, sometimes the goal was to start doing a little bit more daytime streams, but that doesn't fit well with my personal schedule and all the random stuff that happens during the day. But we're trying. But I'm a night owl. And Strega says he's watching for some moves there. Always watch for them moves. All right, guys. If you got anything you want me to take a look at, feel free to put it into the chat, and we will take a look at it. We just got through looking at Bitcoin and going over a few altcoins here. AGIX is one that happens to be up 6% today. Nice. And when I zoom out here, a lot of people will be looking at this as a cup and handle. My personal opinion, it is not. Even though price does come up into it, it broke down below the 66% mark. We don't want to see this come down. It came down to 78%. That's a little too low, so I would not expect this to play out as a cup and handle. There's still a possibility the 886 retracement down to 11 cents. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But I mean, I will agree it's probably a double bottom scenario. The cup and handle, I'm not calling it that. I'm picky on what I take as a cup and handle, and rightly so. Went over that last night on the stream in depth masterclass on cup and handles if you want to know the truth, and I backed it up with Thomas Bukowski's statistics. So if you want to know the real truth about how the true professional traders, such as Thomas Bukowski, who retired in his 30s a long time ago, and even William J. O'Neill, the founder of the cup and handle, check out that stream. It's at the very end last night. Otherwise, you can listen to other people that just, man, they just make up shit as they go. I promise to God. When you see how this is supposed to play out, and then you see what the other people are throwing out there, they did not read the rules. Let's take a look at QNT. QNT struggling with this breakout here with low volume. Now somehow I'm on the 2-week chart. Let's stop that. 2-week chart looked good, by the way. We're seeing some upside in QNT. Nice. It came out of our juicy buy area around 84 cents, right through there. I was anticipating the possibility of us coming back down to 50, because I would own you, QNT. You touch those prices. Yeah, I'm gonna own you. More of you. Stack my bags full of you. But currently we've got this channel that we're in right now and trying to get a breakout, trying to confirm that on the weekly. The daily looks good. We're testing this 200 moving average up here on the daily. Do we have enough get-go to get above it? I hope so, but that's what we got to look for. I want to see price get above $102, $103. Close a candle there, open up, and move on. And until I see that, I'm just going to have to anticipate that this rejection there, coming back down to 95, possibly going up from there, or possibly breaking back into this pattern to these juicy low prices. So we got to see it get above here to continue the bullish trend. but it's nice while it's happening, in my personal opinion. Here on the daily, 4 hour looks juicy above the 9 moving averages there. Indicators are indicating that it still wants to go up, getting a little top heavy, getting a little bit of bearish divergence forming there. But the question is, are we going parabolic? Meaning, are we breaking out of a bearish pattern to the upside? Not quite yet. Possibility of that to happen. When that happens, for instance, if we get above this trend line and just start going bearish, the divergence that we're seeing are not going to play out for a minute. You might see about 2 to 3 instances of divergence where price is coming up, indicators are coming down, and then it finally catches. So when you're in a parabolic situation, the divergence, while still important, and it will slap it down, it usually takes it 2 or 3 bumps, 2 or 3 instances of seeing that. And what I mean by when I say that is that this is one instance right here, this high to this low. And when you compare that to the price at the same time frame we're going up, we can see that happen 2 or 3 more times and still be on an upward trajectory. If we break to the upside of a bearish trend line. So go QNT, you do you. I hope you go crazy, parabolic. That's what I need you to do. KDA is getting some improvements. We were looking at it over here at 43 cents. It dipped down to 41 below my buy zone. Just wanted to embarrass me in public, but that's fine. That just gives people a chance to buy it cheaper. These are zones and probabilities. And so I missed it a little bit. We got it in there, but it traded a lot. It traded a few cents below that. It can't be perfect. If you're expecting perfection, you're going to get a lot of disappointment. But we got this trend line, and currently with KDA, we're finding some resistance there. So I'll say on the 4 hour, we're above the 200 moving average right here. So that's a plus. We're above the 9. It's got a chance to break up in there. If it doesn't, you know, we could get a pullback 48, 47 cents, maybe trade sideways and then find a new trajectory to the upside. So that's what I'm seeing there. Just a high probability to get rejected here. Unless it does something extremely bullish, turns that into a bear trap, then that could be a very positive situation. But I do have some targets up here. I'm looking for 67, 70, 75, and on up to 81 cents over time out of Kadena. Personally, it's a long-term hold for me, and I'm looking for bigger targets for that to execute a moon bag and let this baby ride free and clear into the bull market while I take my profit and put it into something else. Checking out Rune, it's continuing to the upside, getting a little sideways movement right now, but it did like Bitcoin. These are the ones to watch. These are the hot ones to watch if you get a bear trap. So generally, with a little bear trap theory here, when it comes to trading these patterns, especially these rising wedges. A little bit of a bull trap there, but you know, you extend this to the top of the wicks and then you get the outer parameters of this. So let's do that so that we will not mistake this at all. And a rising wedge broke back into the pattern just like Bitcoin. And we're expecting to see the same thing, either come up here and get rejected. If we do that, it could easily come down to these lower areas. But seeing this bull trap, what usually happens, it goes up here and then it busts to the outside. So any of them that we see a rising wedge like this with a bear trap back inside the pattern, I'm looking for a possibility of parabolic move. Those are some coins that we want to be paying attention to if you want to get those gains. And if you've already got a bag of this, like Rune, like I do, you're looking for a place where you can moonbag it, take some well-deserved profit for riding through all the crap that we've been through in this crypto winter. Pay yourself. Cosmos Atoms showing some life here in a juicy buy zone. Personally, I think anywhere under $8, I think anywhere under $9, $8.50, somewhere through there. Great place to buy Cosmos. Because it will not stay here. It will go up and you'll look back and say, dang, that was the juicy place. That's where I should have bought. Don't be that guy. If you like it, you've been for the last, several months just in some juicy areas to accumulate this. And I personally like this one because if you hold this and stake this, you qualify for airdrops. Airdrops being free money, not those things you go chase on Twitter and where they try to get your seed phrase and all this other stuff and try to hack your wallets. It's not that. This is like free money showing up in your account. Or maybe you got to go to a DEX and do a like osmosis, where you had to do, claim it a certain percentage, stake it, more of it gets released, pool it, more of it gets released, just to kickstart the ecosystem. That's the whole purpose of airdrop, is to kickstop an ecosystem. Just to keep that in mind when it comes to airdrops. So they can have, have you to help that ecosystem out, to unleash other tokens that you get in airdrop. So those are the safe ones in my opinion, and I do like the ones on the Cosmos ecosystem. Don't chase airdrops on Twitter, man. That's scams. Those are straight up freaking scams. So we were in this rising wedge kind of pattern and broke to the downside, came back, did a double bottom. We're at 708 now, and I'm looking for us to get back up to $10. And then from there, I'm looking for 14. So this one's a long-term hold for me just because it just keeps giving back. But the biggest thing we got is this trend line here, which we go by the new information that we've got with this wick. Let's count that too. Matches up with this little wick down here. So that is really the support resistance area we got to get above, which is currently about $8. So we see us get about $8, $8.50. We could see some more upside out of Cosmos ecosystem. One of my long-term plays that I really like. Checking out the chat over here. Sergey says, forgot liquidity lock fees. Could be pretty high. Good point. There are a lot of fees in crypto. Sometimes they get you, sometimes they're not bad at all. Can you take a look at Sin? I would love to take a look at Sin. Sinverse. Let's go check that out. MexC is where I currently buy this. And she's been on, she's lost a lot of value. She's been dumped hard. I'm just telling you. Which makes it at a juicy buy spot. A game and play a lot like Grand Theft Auto. I'm a little skeptical about games, but I think this one's got the appeal that will just drag people in because it's a play to earn. And unlike Axie Infinity, which is one of the most boring things I've ever seen in my life, which people loved it, drove the price up because they were making money off of it. Play to earn games, I think, do have some potential. They definitely have some potential for some hype. And one that kind of gets into the R-rated avenues. Well, you want a game that's fun to play, right? So that's why I like Sinverse. Currently, we're coming to the upside. So if you guys got into this in these bottoms right here, about 2.5 cents, then you're probably happy. If you got into this at 0.09 cents, you probably feel a little bit better, but not as happy as if you were concentrating or adding this to your bag in lower areas. So we're up about 25% from where we were. And this is on the daily. Money flow starting to come to the upside. That's great. So we're starting to see some signs of some turnarounds here. I'm looking for some really strong bearish divergence, but I'm not, or bullish divergence. I'm not seeing that yet. I'm not seeing the volume that I'd like to see for a breakout. We broke this trend line, but it's not a bad thing. It just means it's probably a sluggish start. But I do like what I'm seeing on the moving average. I would say the biggest thing to point out on the daily, on any time frame, is that if you're above this green line, this 9 moving average, well, you're in a bullish trend. And as long as you stay above that 9 moving average, you're going to continue in that bullish trend. Right now, the 9's crossing the 21, and they're working on getting up above the 100 moving average here at 0.00287. We are far above that, holding it nice, so we're in a strong uptrend right now. I will caution against this on it. We got rising price, we got falling volume, meaning that this is losing steam, and, it may not be moon time, but it is definitely regaining ground time. Try to make some higher highs times, try to reestablish an upward trend time. That's what we're seeing there. Here on the 4-hour, the blue 50 moving average crossed over this yellow 200. That is your official buy signal, golden cross on the 4-hour. When you see that, it doesn't mean buy instantly there because price can retrace, and it may. It could come back to the 21 moving average at just a little under 3 cents, or a little under 0.003. Or if it's a stronger correction, I would call this a pullback. I would call this more of a correction to the 50 moving average, because that's usually what you see play out, 0.0027. Things are looking nice and juicy here for me, in my personal opinion, with Cinverse. Here's our trend line here that I need to look at. Secondary trend line is this one, which is broken, and now we're just kind of figuring out what we're going to do there. It's a game of patience with Cinverse and some of these other coins, but they're starting to get a little turnaround. We can see it get above 0.0035, 0.0036 in that area. I'll go ahead and mark that. We see it get above there. I think we can see some much better price action and make some higher highs and higher lows and change this trend around. Let's turn this into a profitable investment here. One of the things to keep in mind with this coin is waiting for land sales, because they will do that selling out in this Cinverse metaverse. In my personal opinion, that will be a great time to start taking profit. And you could see it get up to 1.6 cents in that area. I'm definitely looking for something around there to do a little cashy out. And we're talking about some good gains from there. We had a previous setup here with the targets. We can always put those back on there, but it's just kind of cluttering my screen. Here, we'll reuse this one. So if you were to get in now, if you were to make it up to that area, I mean, that's a 4x. So if you got $1,000, I'm just saying 1,000 because it's easy to calculate. Maybe $100. Depends on what you've got. Everybody's not in these coins 10,000 deep, 50,000 deep. A lot of you guys out there getting into crypto, and the people are just now coming in, you're dabbling, filling it out. $100 may be all you're willing to put out here. $500 may be all you're willing to put out here. $1,200. I don't know. Maybe you got 5,000. I don't know. Maybe you got 50, 100,000. That's irrelevant. We're talking about how you can make your small amount of money grow. And I don't blame you for being skeptical. But let's say you got $1,000 bag of this. Well, it comes up here at 4x. You got a $4,000 bag. That's why we like the altcoins. And that's not even the potential that this one could do. It could still go higher, but I recommend taking your profit, getting a moon bag, having no more risk. And then if it decides to come back up here to 50 cents, 60, 70 cents again, ride it, baby. You ain't got nothing to lose. You just got all the money in the world to make there. It's almost infinity in a way as far as returns go. Can you imagine? You get to the Cinverse when it's well below a penny. It going up to 10 cents, 3,000% return. That's a 300x. Is that 30x? That's a 30x. Yeah, I got that math. Ah. And isn't that really what we're kind of looking for? Now, is there gain guarantees that will happen on this or any other coin? No, there's not. That's why you deserve that payday when you get it. You earned it. You took the risk. But if you look at if you can do the technical analysis and follow it, understand the basics of crypto, pick the right winners. I personally think this one's got potential. That's why I'm in it. Otherwise, I would be saying, get that away from me. But just because I'm in it doesn't mean that you have to be in it. But I'm more than happy to take a look at any coins that you are in. Leandro, how's it going, man? Can you have a look at DOT today? I sure can, Leandro. Let's take a look at DOT. DOT's another one of my long-term holds. It's been a little disappointing, let's be honest. I still think it's got future. It's a multi-chain coin. It's interoperability is what we're talking about. Communicates among different chains. And let's see, I want perpetuals. I don't want perpetuals. I want actual spot. Perpetuals are not real. They're fake. They're illusion. So I'm going to come over here to the Binance chart. And let's zoom out. Let's go to the weekly. Just so we can get rid of some of that noise. Let's point this out. Still got that green dot going on here on the weekly on Market Cipher. Stochastics going to the upside. It's got some nice signs. Money flow starting to come up to the upside a little bit. Not exactly where we want it. Cautionary tale here with a MACD trading sideways. That's kind of like, you know, you don't want to go in hard and heavy at these points because it's just lackluster. But now we're starting to show a little signs of life. We were down in the $3 range, right down here, 369. I had this oh crap target. If things went bad in the market, I was looking for us to come down to maybe 275 up to 3 as a juicy buy area. Don't think that is going to hit now. We found support here at 359, 360, and I like that. We're regaining our ground, and on the daily, we're just moving through our moving averages. And as I say on all the other ones, as long as we're above this 9, we're in a positive trend. And if that 9 can start crossing over the higher moving averages, like it just crossed over the 21, we may be turning around here. There is some divergence here, bullish divergence. Price is coming down, and on our RSI, it's nice. That is reversal divergence. That's what you want to see on a bigger time frame. When you're at a bottom area, support area, and you start getting this, you know things are going to start turning around. And this seems to be what we're doing. We made a higher high. Possible we may come back down here, retest $3.91 somewhere in that area. It may just be $4.03. We will be testing these moving averages depending on where it finds support. Make a lower low, or a higher low, sorry, make a higher low, and then we can work on making a higher high, and hopefully that will establish a trend and we will be in an uptrend. So the 4-hour looks juicy. I like this. Notice our 50 moving average is starting to ease up on the 200. Getting ready for a possible golden cross, which is a official buy signal. Has not confirmed yet. And as I said earlier, that doesn't mean that you just buy instantly there, but it means that, hey, you need to start looking for an entry spot. That's what that means. Now, it looks like we got a breakout of what's probably a symmetrical triangle here on the 4-hour. Come down to the 1-hour, look at it a little bit better. Yeah, I will stick with that, or some people may look at it like this, which is technically a little bit more of a bullish way to look at it. I personally do kind of like this. I'm not a fan of symmetrical triangles. One trick to the symmetrical triangle that I will say, if you're going that route in your analysis, that if you keep your overall trend line and it doesn't fall below it, you have a higher chance for it to break out in your favor to the upside. Otherwise, man, they will get nasty and they will do whatever they want to. They are unreliable. But if you got a solid trend line that's bouncing off of, well, it may look like a symmetrical triangle. Ideally, with these patterns, especially symmetrical triangles, you want it to fill as much as you can, and we got this big old gap here. So that's where you can start looking at this. Well, maybe we should look at it this way. And this one's got more of a 70% chance to break to the upside for this pattern, and it having a trend line there. That's good in my personal opinion. Some other signs are that Market Cipher likes it, giving a green dot here on the 1-hour. Ichimoku Cloud is looking nice and thin. So smaller time frame here looks like it's getting ready to come up, start reclaiming these areas around 442. See if we can get above that. And man, let's shoot for $5. Let's shoot for $6. Let's go, Dot. Let's pick it up. Let's make something happen here. We got another trend line coming here. This is going to give us some resistance. That'll be about 465. So if we could get rejected there, come back, reaccumulate 425, 427 area, this area here. Could get about, before we go up, or we could just keep blasting on through. So that's what we got to keep an eye on for there. But it looks like it's going to try to at least come up to 466 and test that. See if it can move higher. We need that out of Dot. So long-term hold, nice pattern. I do not plan on selling my Dot anytime soon. I got it staking. I got it working there for me. I'm liking the rewards. It's building my bags over time, just more and more. That helps offset any kind of inflation. And then at some point, if this thing gets up to around $50 or something like that, ooh, Daddy going to cash out. Road Dog going to cash out. Or at least some of it. Road Dog's going to be taking profits on the way. All right, Jorge Satoshi, man. How's it going, Jorge? Jorge, I think you got your Tangem wallet, right? If I'm not mistaken. I just want to kind of verify that. I think Austin is the only one that I haven't heard from to confirm that. Jorge was a winner of the Tangem wallet giveaway that we had here, probably about a month ago. Leandro says, "Doing great, Lane, and you?" I'm doing fine, Leandro. Appreciate that. And Dot's not doing anything since 2021. Dot has been slow. They just don't have the hype yet. But I still believe it's a solid project. But there have definitely been faster horses. We can put it that way. But I'm right in there with you. I think it's got potential, and that's why it's one of my bigger holdings. And Leandro says, I'm waiting for it to pump a bit to change it for BTC. And Leandro is talking about the OG strategy of trading alts against Bitcoin. It's great if you got an exchange that has that pair. It makes it a lot easier than you have to take 2 steps to go from Tether over to Bitcoin in 2 transactions and whatever kind of weird tax liabilities. Who knows? They don't have tax laws clearly established for this stuff. But you can see here that against Bitcoin, it is getting tanked, and it will probably continue to do that. So we're far away from that, but that is a good strategy because look, we've seen the potential before. And let's just let's assume that maybe DOT won't outperform Bitcoin as much as it has before in the past. Let's assume that maybe the 618 area, which I think is a good target. Currently, the price is at 0.00012 Bitcoin. If during this cycle it comes up to 0.0067, you just magnified your Bitcoin trading it by that strategy. Whether you're buying it in dollars or you're buying it in Bitcoin, I recommend using your dollars and holding on to your Bitcoin. That dirty fiat's there to be spent. Your Bitcoin's there to be saved, in my personal opinion. Just my 2 cents. Let me back that up there. But look at this. It's got a chance to go lower. It does. I mean, it could get down to, below 0.0001. But let's just take it where it is right now. For example, 0.00. Let's just call it by sats. 1,256 satoshis per DOT. And a possibility of getting up to 6,700 satoshis per sat, or per coin, right? So if you had a quarter of a Bitcoin, that's a lot, but let's just say if you could cash out with a whole Bitcoin there. Easy way to grow your Bitcoin. And a quarter of a Bitcoin into DOT, I mean, that's for a lot of people, that's a lot of money. I'm not saying that you have to have that, but whatever, you have a 1/10 of a Bitcoin in there, suddenly you have closer to having a half of a Bitcoin after this plays out. And it will take time. It will take time. But you just got some free Bitcoin there. So OG strategy right there that we like to talk about on our channel. It's just not time. We're getting close to the times where it's good to trade Bitcoin for those because they're at some bottom. We're getting there, not quite there yet. But the higher the Bitcoin dominance goes, the more okay it is to make those trades in Bitcoin to an altcoin. And then the lower the dominance goes, well, the more Bitcoin value you'll get out of selling those altcoins. So keeping up with the altcoin and Bitcoin season is crucial to that, and we're currently in Bitcoin season, meaning that Bitcoin is outperforming our altcoins, and it'll do that for a little while. Bitcoin will steal the show. Doesn't mean that it's not a good time to get altcoins, just don't do it with Bitcoin. Not yet. I mean, you're better off doing it here than when it was up. In my personal opinion, I think you still got some better prices out of the Bitcoin pair. But overall, I like that, and that is one of my main altcoin strategies because I'm trying to use it to grow Bitcoin. Jorge says, all good evening, walking Tenerife, south at the moment. Feeling better? We've had the worst of the bear behind us? I think so too. Oops. And I'm fighting with my chat box here because it wants to pull up this little box and I can't read what's going on. Jorge says he received and he's testing the wallet at the moment. Cool. I'm glad that you got it. Got a Tangem wallet there. It takes a little getting used to when you get a new wallet to start trusting it and everything because you're, it's just, I was the same way with Ledger too, but man, I love the Tangem thing. It's so easy to use. So easy to use on DeFi, and it holds a lot of, it holds Caspa, also holds, what was the other one that I just put over there? A0. So it holds those coins. Just a good all-around wallet. And use code DOG for your discount code. You'll save 10%. Jorge says Taylor is mooning. Man, TRB. This is one that I screwed up on by just getting out too early. It happened. My general rule to avoid doing this is to never sell completely out of your position. And for some reason, I don't know, I put a higher price. It happened. Mostly by accident because I wasn't paying close enough attention. It's my ADD. But I broke my cardinal rule. Now I'm paying for it. But that's why I had that rule, because this stuff happens in crypto. Goodness gracious, $113 right now. I feel like an idiot getting out in $22, $23. If I just held on, but coulda, woulda, shoulda, doesn't do nothing. I broke my rule, so I got what I deserved. I cannot complain. Well, I can, but it doesn't do me or anyone else any good. I'm supposed to look like a crybaby. Best thing that I can do is just say, you need to make sure you reinforce that don't sell everything rule. Because I don't care if I just had 5 of these suckers. What was $100 could be worth $500, you know, you get it? So congratulations on Taylor. We got to give it some respect. A move like that, a move like this out of Taylor over these past few weeks, man, when it was trading down to, you know, below $10, you've already got your 10x. Already got your 10x in this kind of quasi bear market early bull run, possibly. We're making higher highs and higher lows on Bitcoin, so technically we are in an uptrend. I'll talk about this. But here's the thing, on the weekly we do have rising price, we got falling volume on TRB, so that's something to be cautious about. Meaning it's starting to get tired out overall, showing some signs of tiredness. Maybe a while. She's got possibilities to come up here to $124. Ichimoku Cloud looks like it's all on board for this one to keep going. And I do not know what the catalyst is behind this one, but this one's been an extremely tight coin. And I, you know, since I've been out of the position, I haven't had the gumption, the desire to keep up with the news on it or anything. But this one has been outstanding. Outstanding strong coin. Amazing. So shout out to anybody that's been in this and still in it, because you're doing it right. You're doing it right. This is a bearish pattern that we're in currently, but it will stay in this pattern until it doesn't, meaning that it can go up here, it can come back down here, and then it can come way up here until it breaks out. Breaking out to the upside would be hopeful, but I don't see it that very much on these patterns. If it did, Taylor would just go crazy. It is very likely that Taylor will come up around $125 and maybe come back down to the bottom of the pattern or to a halfway mark to 82 and maybe back to 64. Now, if it does that, you can count on Road Dogg wanting to get in, but Road Dogg's not going to be buying in $112, $125. Road Dogg don't believe in buying the tops, although it does happen time to time. Sometimes your emotions will get you. Sometimes you will FOMO. You can see that happen on lots of YouTubers' channels, actually. And, you know, there's always a justification, which is our emotions taking over our brains to give us, well, I did it because of this. And if you step back and say, well, that's a stupid reason, really, if you think about it from the big picture. Just being honest. You got to be honest with yourself about this. Try not to buy when prices are at the tops. If you need help, you put something on here called a Bollinger Band. Best advice I can give. Especially if you're new to the trading game, Bollinger Bands. Click that little guy on there. Come to a big ass time frame like the weekly. Let me get rid of my, or change that line's color anyway. Bollinger Bands, okay, they're blue in color is what I got right here. So this blue line and that blue line is the top of the bands. We are above it, which is bullish as all get out. But it's an unsafe time to buy when you're at these bands. So not the safest time. Not getting enough information there. We'll keep zooming out till you get something. And all of these are saying we're above it. This was the squeeze when here's what's cool about Bollinger Bands. You got these lines here. I'll just go over them and they come together and they start getting tight, right? When they get bottlenecked like that, there's a big move coming. You can't always tell which way it's going to go. It can go up, it can go down, but it's going to be a big move. So Bollinger Bands are pretty awesome to help you get into a move, but they're also telling you she's on fire, and it may be a little too hot in the kitchen right now. She's a little steamy, if I can say that. If I had to describe this one, I would say my indicators are just, for TRB, where are you at? Come on, Stream Deck. Those indicators are on fire. We're getting overheated here. Our radiator is just like, oh gosh, I gotta cool down. So you would have to play this very cautiously, in my personal opinion. I would be looking for a smaller time frame if you're trying to get in and risk this. Buying at this 21 moving average when we come down and touch it would be one of the safer plays. Let me turn my Bollinger Band off. I got too many indicators on there. Okay, come on, baby. There we go. Already had a Bollinger Band. Let me get rid of that little guy, clear up some room here. So, do you see how this trend is going? We're staying above the 9 moving average. That's part of our trend. When we pull back, we're pulling back to the 21. Sometimes to the 50 for a deeper correction. But usually it's bouncing off our 9 and our 21. It will do that again, and that would be a great place to enter whenever price comes back and it meets either the 9, preferably the 21 on a deeper retracement. That would be your safer entry to get in to maybe ride it to the upside. Otherwise, you're just buying the green candles, which is, you know, not the best strategy. Although you can get lucky, but you can also get wrecked. So I'm just throwing some cautionary information out there. But man, this guy is on a tear. You can also use a Fibonacci to come to determine a good area to get in. Now, this may not be the extent of the move, so we're just going with what we have. But really strong moves will get a bounce here off the 236. So if it comes back here, starts catching some ground here, it can move up a lot more. I mean, like up to $133, a lot more to that target. Your secondary one would be right here at the 382. And here on the 4-hour time frame, I just want to point out, same things with the moving average. The 9 moving average is lining up with this fib, the 21's lining up with this. It's great to use fibs and moving averages together for confluence. Helps you be more accurate, helps you nail those entries a little bit better. I just give away all the sauce. You ask me a question, I will tell you the sauce that I have. You decide if it's good or not and if it's something you want to add to your toolbox. But I'm not one of these chillers out there trying to sell the sauce. Everybody needs to get their life right with crypto. This is our one chance to do it. I want everybody on board that I can get on board. And learning technical analysis, even just the basics of what you just happen to pick up by watching me on my channel, it will help you out. You will soak it up. You watch it enough, it'll start making sense. So, oh, I see that. And then soon you'll be looking at charts, whether you're over on your exchange or whatever, and using their tools, drawing it out just like way I'm TradingView, or you'll get TradingView yourself, but you'll have a better idea of how to do it. That's my whole goal for this channel. I just teach by example, show you what I'm doing. I'm not going to sit here and try to spill that, join my group and pay me money for me to show you the secrets. The secret is that most of these guys are pulling at every stop that they know so that they can be accurate in the charts. You just got to watch them and see what their game plan is. I can watch them and break down what their strategy is fairly quickly. Preserve your capital. You don't want to FOMO on the price. You don't want to FOMO into, anything from grifters out there. I'll put it that way. Currently a strong trend here, man. She still wants to go up. I'm still looking for 124, maybe that 133 area. That was the fib area. I'm not going to draw the fib. I just remember it's at 133. I'm going to mark it there. It's a target. TRB, strong one. There's no denying. I feel stupid for getting out. And you know what? It was my emotions and my bias that caused me to get out because I held it for so long and it didn't do anything. So you see that. And that's where my rule for just trying to sell half or not sell your whole bag, keep a portion of it just for this exact reason. And I broke that rule and I'm paying for it. And so I've got Cheddar at the price I deserve if I buy it. Above $10 I paid for it, then that's on me. So this is a road dog crypto. Been down this road before, just tried to show you the mistakes that I've made and bring your attention to it, and then maybe it'll help you out. Guys, out. And if you see me make a big screw up here online, well, maybe it's a learning experience for us both. This area right here is $68 though. I do like that. That's a support resistance flip this wick here, and we flipped it as support. It may at some point come back and retest that. If it does, in my personal opinion, that would be a juicy area to maybe look at picking up some of this. I have to take that in stride, just depending on what happens in the charts, because, you know, if it does hit this, you know, maybe looking at $36, who knows, with whatever the charts say. But nice pattern. Opening, broadening wedge pattern. Let's go ahead and change this so you can see that. Technically bearish, but, you know, it stays in this pattern, it doesn't, and it's got a ways to go to the top to get rejected, so TRB. Strega says Pepe 2.0. Pepe 2.0. I think we got it right here. Poloniex. You got it on Pancake Swap? Uniswap version 3. There it is on MXC right here on the spot. We'll go with that one. Oh my goodness. Meme coins do be popping, huh? Look at that. Strega, did you clean up on this one, maybe? Down in these juicy bottoms. Now the secret to your success in crypto, especially for spot and position building, are these bottoms, especially if they got a rounding shape, which this one did, and then this got a nice breakout. It may come back down and retest these areas. I'm just throwing that out there. It blasted off. It needs to kind of chill out at some point, and they will do that. So don't think we're just going to keep on going up and up and up. There will be corrections, and you know, you just got to realize that and know that, hey, I could use that to my advantage. So here are some areas to look at for possible retest, support resistance areas, and we pull a fib, we may see some confluence there from the swing low to this current swing high. Not as much there, right? Let's try this little guesstimation area here. This is totally unorthodox, but I'm using a guesstimation strategy. I'm pulling my fib up till I start seeing how it correlates with some of these areas that we just pinned down here. Taking this as being a possible 618. And I'm just guesstimating. This is an experiment. Sometimes it works pretty good though. I'm going to label it as such. I'm going to put hypothetical on there. This is a keyword to let me know that I used an unorthodox method to get that. I want to see if this one actually hits. If I were to look normally with my fib without doing that, there's some confluence right in that. Well, it's with the 414, isn't it? That's interesting. I would be looking at this negative 0.27 area as my little cheat code fib. That's at 31,456 with all those zeros. It's currently at 23, so there's a nice little possible move there. May not make it up there though. What else have we got to look here? We got this trend line here. Nice, nice. See that wick. There's a trend line there. So using a little trend line magic, there's a good chance we'll come back here to retest that. Now that's at 19,200, 19,300 in that area. Could see that possibility. So those are some possible areas to look at, and then we got this little support resistance area. They're coming in at the same thing right there. There's 2 points to look at: a horizontal and a diagonal support line there. Could be looking at for a pullback, and at some point it will need to pull back. But she's doing great now, man. Look at the gains on this thing. Strega, if you got in on this at 64, 63, I don't even know how. It doesn't even tell me what the percentage is on that. Try this tool. What do you say? Was it an awesome move? It looks like an awesome move. Sometimes they're not, but this one, that's a 250% move. That's an awesome move. 2.5x. If you bought in on these juicy bottoms. And so what we were talking about earlier, during this point in the market, whether altcoin or what, if you see the prices down at the bottoms, this is where nobody wants this. And if you're tuning in on this and you know, you got some analysts is looking at, no, that's just not for me. It's just not, well, no, we're at a bottom. Maybe we should look. It looks like a hockey stick, right? Or a lot of them do. Oh, this one has proven that it's gotten up from these bottoms before. But, you know, you've got the lowest risk and the greatest potential for upside when you get in the market at these prices for whatever token, even for a meme coin like this one that, you know, clearly states that they have no real use case. It's a community thing. It's a, I don't know, maybe you could say it's a money grab. Maybe it's a lottery. Maybe it's just straight up gambling. I don't care. It's just, it's got a chart. We can chart it. You can make money off of it or you can lose money on it. It's tradable, and it says that it may have some more upside there. So 32,012, I think that's a viable target. I really do. And just from where we are now, would this thing not work? I gotta use this one to get my percentages on this because we're at such a small scale. I don't really need to worry about this down here, but let's see, getting in here, that's 35% move up there. But getting in at a retest down here would give you a 63% move. I like that better. So just some ideas there on Peppy. Guys, let me know what you think. Do you like the daytime streams? You think that's a good addition to have, or do you think I should just totally kind of stick with the nighttime streams? Jorge says, looks like Solana is going to be my main alt again this cycle. Relatively safe, much cheaper. Hope we'll do what we did last cycle. That would be cool. That was a lot of manipulation thanks to FBF. But a lot of people do like Solana. So it's got kind of a cloudy past with the whole Sam Bankman-Fried involvement and stuff like that. But it's got potential. Definitely a lot of people really believe in this. Let's see, we got Solana here on MEXC and $32.83. Nice. This is not the one that we had charted. I've got a chart on this. Probably Binance. Yes, okay. So we had some measure moves from a flag. We had some other targets. It's blasted through it. We're looking at 30 up to 32. I was looking up to a possibility of 36. Juicy buy area that it just tapped the top of it. Actually, we've already cleared all this. Let's take a look at it fresh. Zoom out to the weekly for Solana. So we got this as a major trend line. This as a secondary trend line. When we get these trend lines, it's always good to copy them, and then you can identify the channel that we're in. Now rising channels are usually bearish overall, but they stay in this channel, bouncing between these two areas until they don't. And if it moves to the upside, it's a strong move. If it moves to the downside, well, it's not as strong, but probably coming down for a double bottom scenario. So overall, that's the general gist of what we're looking at for what's going on here. Just by the pattern alone, we can also take trend lines from these other areas, which appear that we have a breakout of this trend line. Here to the wicks, we get the extreme of that, and there's still a breakout. There is some volume there on that trend line, so I like that. And that gives us the possibility that, hey, we may be working on actually trying to break to the upside of this channel. If we do, that could be parabolic for Solana. taking us up to $70-$80, probably about 75. I say that because this little wick down here area, so that would be a, and it could easily just blast above that too. That's not the strongest resistance. Strongest resistance would be coming in around $82-$85. We're coming into this Ichimoku cloud like that. I'd like to see it get a lot thicker or something, but as long as we're in it, it'll keep sucking us up into it. Let's come to a smaller time frame. Pull up our indicators. Let me back up a minute. We didn't have indicators there. Here's the nice thing that we see with Solana on our indicators on the weekly chart is that money flow is starting to come to the upside. Now, all the other indicators are up there, but that's fine. Still got some more room for this one to keep coming up. There's more room for upside on this. Money flow being the most important thing to look at right there. So daily chart, look at this. Golden cross, 50 cross into 200 on the daily. That's your buy signal. Doesn't mean to buy now, just means you can find a good entry. I'll be looking at this retest of this trend line and the 9 moving average, 27.61. If it gets there, I would snag it up because most likely it will. That's your pullback before it goes up higher to 36. So looking good for Solana. I like that golden cross. If you're not in it, or if you want to build your bags, there may be a chance around $27.84, $28. Otherwise, we got some more upside potential for this. Last time, if you remember, price went crazy on Solana, and sadly, Alameda had a lot to do with that, pumping the price. It was, not authentic price action. It was manipulated, but they manipulated up to $250. Can it do it again? Maybe, maybe not. I think one safe way to look at this would be to draw your fib and then target the 618. I would look at the 618 and the 0.5 areas. And if you're a little hopium, look at that 786. So for long term, I think it's very reasonable to look at these targets for some good take profits. And that's $134, the 618 Fibonacci area, where it will usually find resistance and usually get rejected there and try to build up before it makes some, goes up higher. Usually you will see price go up to that 618 and then it will fall back down, usually to the 618, like maybe $73, $72, something like that, and then keep working its way up. So if we're kind of guesstimating and just speculating about how price could play out over, say, the next 12 months, scenarios like that are what you could be looking at. But if there is a chance for it to make a new high, I would be looking at $330 as a possible area for that long-term place to sell out the last portions of your bags and stuff. Possible. But at these areas here where we're at $33, I mean, that's almost a 4x, getting up to $162 there. So overall, I like it. And short term, $28, $29 would be a juicy place to get in, try to ride it up to 36. Striga says, I like any stream. Appreciate that, Striga. I'm going to have to get me a new chat thing. I don't know when it started doing this. Jorge says, it's always nice catching a live stream. So, Jorge says, think is a good alternative to ETH. Oh, we're talking about Solana. Think it's a good alternative to ETH. Don't like the high gas fees. Yeah, I understand that. Man, I used to hate on Ethereum. Last market, I was not in it. I was totally against Ethereum. I was so pissed. Because those miners were greedy. They were making bank. Miners were making bank, and that's why they had such opposition to the proof of work switchover and stuff. That was their main opposition, because that was their cash cow. Of course, the proof of stake, I don't know. However you want to look at that. I do believe in proof of work projects. I like proof of work because the big guys can't come in with all their money and then gain control over it with, like a corporate takeover. See, ETH slow network. ETH's got some improvements it can make. If I tag comments and links to the globalist, yeah. I mean, we've got that globalist movement, and the Bible even talks about it. Other things talk about it. Conspiracy theories talk about it. You know, with New World Order and all that. I mean, we got those ideas. We're headed toward a global government as we become more global and interconnected. It's going to happen, but it can happen in a bad way, which it gets pretty nasty in Revelation if you go that route, or it could happen to a good way, which would be the final outcome after Revelation, in my personal opinion. But I fully believe, and you can see it's heading towards CBDCs, right? And whether you believe whatever your religion or whatever, but the whole theory about the mark of the beast, you can't buy or sell without this mark in your right hand or forehead. Could that be a CBDC? Because you can't buy or sell without them if that's in government. If a global government has global control over a global currency, that's not good for anybody. Nobody has freedom then. Bitcoin, I honestly believe, is God's saving grace, giving us a way out, a way to avoid getting into that situation where you can't buy or sell without having this number or this account or this identity. That's why I love Bitcoin. I truly, with the depths of my heart, believe it is God's grace on humanity to help us avoid the crap that is trying to be forced down our throats by I guess you would say, the evil globalist. But overall, coming together as a community, globalize and in love and positivity and things like that, that's what we want. That's what we need. We don't need that controlling entity bearing down and taking away our individual rights and freedoms. And sadly, if there's people in charge of that, that's what happens. Maybe that's how the robots get in control. That maybe that's how the AI takes over the world. We get tired with our own human nature, and then we start to trust the algorithm to do it by code. Then maybe that code says, humans crazy, man. World be better off without them. I don't know. We're just playing around. Oh God. Road Dog's gonna get shadow banned. Striker says he missed the Rap Luna seed dip this morning. I don't even mess with these anymore. But surprisingly, yeah, there was a nice little pump there. After all this big old drop, that's the part. Is there volume? There's some volume for that particular move. So potential upside over time with Luna C. I don't think it will ever be returned to its former glory ever. But it's still an open project and still out there. I don't foresee developers doing anything, but I could be totally wrong. But, you know, as long as there's buyers and sellers and pumpers and things will move and you can make money in lots of things. Just higher risk, in my personal opinion. So we got some divergence here, saying there's some upside potential. I'd be looking for that 200 moving average in this area that we've lost. That's at 8033 and we're at 6367. So there's a nice little move to be had there. Was it about 30%? Where he says, fully agree in XMR as a backup when things get extreme. I do like privacy coins. Of course, the sad thing is the government hates them, so it makes it crazy. And this whole mixer stuff, where that whole tornado cash stuff is just, that's just wrong. What they did to that poor developer is wrong. But it competes with their system, so let's keep that in mind. But I do like Monero. I don't really have any Monero. But I do have Decred, which is, you know, it's got its privacy features too. I think they even have a built-in mixer or something, but Decred is more of my pseudo privacy play there. But yeah, always a good idea to have those avenues. It's none of their damn business what you do. You don't need to be under surveillance. This is not 1984 Hope to God it never becomes that way, but we all have a right to privacy. We just need to be law-abiding citizens, but that also works for the government, and they need to be law-abiding too. Striga says, I just need 3 zeros. There you go, Striga. All right, guys, the time is now 4:19. I want to wrap this up. I appreciate you so much for joining me on daytime stream. I'll try to do these more as long as my schedule permits. It's just been kind of hectic and surprising things happen every day. But I do enjoy streaming and trying to get current information out there. If you can, if you would like to help our channel reach more people and grow, just hit that like button. If you don't want to do it for the road dog, maybe you'll do it for my dear friend who has a button somewhere. I like to push his buttons. Where'd you go? Take up so much time just to try to get this out. This is crazy. I'm a boomer.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. I do plan to have an 11 o'clock stream tonight because I'm a night owl and I just like it. So if you want to join me there, and we'll take another look at the chart, see what's going on, see if we can find some good setups on some of these alts that may be popping off because it's nice green day. We need to take advantage of that and pay ourselves, right? All right, until next time or until later tonight, my name is Lane, your Crypto Road Dog, reminding you, maybe you're in this market at the right time to make some life-changing money. You don't need to do it with leverage or perpetual futures. Concentrate on your spot bags, build those up. Bull market is coming. We're almost through this crypto winter. And from here on out, we're going to see more and more FOMO people jumping in late trying to make that life-changing money. But you're here now. You're the smart guys, the OGs, the new people coming in trying to do it the right way. That's who I'm trying to catch. Let's do this. Let's change our lives and let's make our families better. Let's look out for our families and avoid all the crap that's trying to be funneled into us by these world leaders and everything, trying to destroy our worlds. Let's do what we can to protect ourselves, and we got to do that financially. All right, see you later, guys. Appreciate you for being here.
Come on, come here, bud. Come on. You freaky dog. I don't need to analyze. Every word that comes out is a lie. Make it look like it's so ice, ice, ice. You won't make it to the finish line. Now if you gotta know the truth, was gonna let you go. You was fine, never mind, unpredictable. Fade eye off the ground, you ain't no one. You a star, blow it up like supernova. In the nighttime, hit my hotline. Sharing secrets, you was really was about your life. Basic bullets, with no bullets. Does your wifey know you're begging for my notice? Promise you're the same, running for the meds. Sure you like my vibe, pass my candy on my wrist. Bad habits, little rabbit. Now sit down, you can have it.